Namaste Africa and welcome to AAU Talks, and this is a special edition of AAU Talks on AAU TV. And AAU Talks is brought to you by the Association of African Universities headquarters here in Accra, Ghana. My name is Kwesi Sam, and today on AAU Talks we are going to launch the African Universities Week, and I have the technical team with me in the studio, and they'll be throwing more light on the activities that would be happening during the 2018 edition of the African Universities Week. We'll also have the Secretary General of the Association of African Universities officially launching AU Week. And don't forget to join the conversation or join us via our social media platforms, Association of African Universities on Facebook and AAU_67 on Twitter. We'll go for a short break, and when I return, I will unveil my technical group. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break, and as I indicated before we went for the break, we are launching the African Universities Week 2018 edition, and we have the Director of ICT Services and Knowledge Management here at the Association of African Universities in the person of Ms. Nodumo Dlamini, and she is part of the Technical Working Group for African Universities Week 2018. You are welcome, Ms. Nodumo.
Thank you, Sam.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well,
Great.
thank you.
All right. We also have the web developer or the web officer of the Association of African Universities, and he is also in the person of Mr. Frank Asefua, and he's also part of the Technical Working Group. Frank, you're welcome to AAU Talks.
Thank you very much, Kwesi.
Great. And then the last but not the least, we have Ms. Edith Larry, and she is the Membership and Admin Officer here at the Association of African Universities. Edith, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Great. And I hope you're all doing well.
Yes,
We're doing fine, thank you.
Great. I am excited that we are launching African Universities Week 2018. But before we even launch it, we want to find out from you, Ms. Nodumo, what is African Universities Week, why African Universities Week, and what is the rationale for African Universities Week?
Thank you, Sam. African Universities Week began as African Universities Day.
Okay.
Since 2000, universities in Africa have recognized this day, and the day is for recognizing the day that the association was created,
Okay.
which is 12th November 1967.
Okay.
But as time went on, we changed the celebration from being a day's celebration to a week's celebration.
Okay.
That's why we now refer to it as African Universities Week.
Okay.
This has been since 2016, when we then schedule a number of events during the week, either preceding the 12th of November or the days after 12th of November, depending when the 12th actually falls. Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So why African Universities Week? What is the rationale?
The rationale was to remind ourselves that we created the Association of African Universities for a particular purpose. And the week itself is meant to help us to tell our stories as universities, to create a visibility for the work that the universities do, and also to engage in advocacy, so that universities can get more support from their governments, from development partners, from all the stakeholders. Based on that, now the community understands the importance of the universities. So it's a platform to share the stories about African universities and their impact in terms of research, teaching, learning,
and community service as well.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, let me stay with you a bit longer, because we need to understand how the AAU was established, and where was it established, and what were the processes that went on, because that is the basis for the African, for the celebration. So for those who may not know AAU at all, when, where, and how was it established?
The establishment of the AAU was a long process. It started in the early 60s. The conversation began among African professors. I remember there was a team that started these conversations at the University of Khartoum in Sudan. And as the conversations went on, then they involved additional vice-chancellors from the African universities, and eventually there were 34 African universities that agreed to form the association. They developed the constitution, and they had a number of meetings prior to that. But the launch itself was in Rabat, Morocco, on the 12th of November. 1967, yes.
That's amazing. And so technically AAU is about 51 years.
Yes, yes. AAU is turning 51 in November this year. Yes.
So it's a special edition.
Yes,
after
it
our
is.
50th anniversary last year.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me go to Edith. Edith, you were part of African Universities Week, which started in 2014. And then 2015, 2016, and 2017. But can you just give us a brief of what happened in 2014 and 2015? What were the issues that were tackled during the celebration?
Okay, so with the celebration in 2014, we did it in partnership with the All Nations Universities. So we had to go to Koforidua to have the event there. And we looked at the theme for that year's event was higher education, looking at capacities in jobs creation. Yes, so and the event started with exhibition from universities all over. People participated in this exhibition. We had them displaying most of the things they have in their school and stuff. So it started in the morning, that is around 9 a.m. And during the day, we had the dignitaries coming in. That was from around 12. So we had the forum. It was a forum that was held with the theme of that year's event. Yes, and that was what went on, and then that was how 2014.
So 2014 was a day.
Yes, it was a day.
A day, okay. Then in 2015.
2015, it was we had a partnership with Ashasi University. So we had to go to Berikusu, and with Ashasi University, it was also fine. But with that one, we looked at internationalization. Of higher education. And we had Professor Jujonu, who was the guest speaker of that event. He actually made emphasis on the importance of internationalization, you know, in this. And that one too started with exhibitions, and then it ended with a seminar. It was open. There was an open one that was participated by a lot of people. So I think
the participation is open to all the universities on the continent?
All the universities on the continent, yes. And we have some dignitaries that come from the diplomatic institutions. We have some of them coming from the embassies and all over. So it wasn't just for higher education, but it was open to other people.
So let me go to the main man, the web developer. So Frank, can you just share the 2016 and the 2017 editions with us? What were the key issues? What were the key activities that were held?
Yeah, so 2 years ago on 2016, that's when we decided to start with the AAU Week as a week event. So we organized 3 separate events which were going to be held in various locations. So we partnered with Meltwater. We also partnered with GIMPA, Ghana Institute of Management and Professional
public
administration, sorry, and also with UPSA. Okay. So we had a series of events with the one at Meltwater. It was more about entrepreneurship.
What is Meltwater? Somebody may not know.
Meltwater is an institution that helps train students to be able to build products of their own and commercialize it, and it's more or less like an incubator in Ghana here.
Yes. IT related?
Yes, IT related and many other fields like finances and things like that.
That's good.
So we worked with them and we had a talk. Usually they do have a talk, so we had a panel involving people like Ato Oznapia, who is the CEO of Ghana Think Foundation, and other important dignitaries as well, where we discuss about entrepreneurship and how all of this can come together, and we can have the youth mobilizing themselves to be able to take opportunities which are found in the communities where they live themselves. Then we went to Gempa on the Wednesday, I think, and it was on a debate. So we had a debate where 3 different schools, which was Gempa, UPSA, and Wisconsin, came in with their teams, and they debated about a topic that was given to them. And it was the
challenges of higher education.
Exactly. It was a very intriguing debate, and all of us who went there were very happy with how they were able to research and they were able to bring out their points, and it was wonderful. The judges really enjoyed it, and we in the audience also enjoyed it as well. Yes. So we climaxed it by going to UPSA on the last day, and that's where the winners, which was Wisconsin.
I think.
Winners from Wisconsin. So they were awarded by the Secretary General at the event. The Secretary General also gave his opening remarks, and there was a Professor Alabi. Yes, she also gave her remarks on the whole celebration and why it was important, and it was a very wonderful occasion.
See, when you mention Professor Alabi, the husband is Professor Alabi.
So
is it you are referring to Goski Alabi? Okay, yes. It's very important that you clarify that. Good.
Professor Goski Alabi was the one who gave the important talk about how entrepreneurship should also be seen by the students, and they should capture it whatever situation it is in. It was a very wonderful one, and just as Edith said, with all these events, we have participants coming from other countries, embassies. We had people from industry joining us on the panel. We had a very wonderful cultural show that was done, and the exhibitions and things like that. All of those brought a vibrant light to the event, and it was a very wonderful one.
2017 was actually promising.
Yes.
It was wonderful, even though I missed the 2017 edition. Can you just share some few? No, let me go to Madam. I know that we had EduTech and some other key event, but if you can share the EduTech, why it was your passion that we have EduTech as part of the 2017 edition?
Yes, we continued with the week celebration in 2017. The EduTech Forum aimed to bring our member universities, particularly vice-chancellors and ICT directors, to sort of talk to industry. And the industry partners that we brought were the technological partners, people that are either selling hardware or selling software or selling solutions that can help teaching, learning and research. So the reason why we held that forum is because we get a lot of requests from the industry to say, how can we meet with universities so that we share what services we can possibly provide them with. So then we provided that opportunity for the ICT related industry players to talk with the vice chancellors and the ICT directors. So there were exhibitions where they exhibited their products, and then there were sessions where the industry would say what they have to offer, and the universities could also respond to say these are the problems that they were facing. And then after that, we know that a lot of partnerships arose because we created that opportunity. Yes,
because I know Microsoft came after
that.
There were other series of activities that were held. Thank you so much. Apart from that, we also had I think there was a women in higher education summit which brought together women and some kids. There were men in the room as well, which was amazing. Edith, I think you were there. Why the women in higher education?
You know, we actually, with that one, we targeted the senior high students. So I don't know if you witnessed that day, we had students from Ideal College. We got some from Presec. We brought them in just to talk to them. You know, some of them need encouragement. We had the former Minister of Education coming in, Professor Nano Opokwajiman. We had Professor Kwapon, who is also a female. We had Joyce Ayi was actually represented by a man. So that was why you saw a man on the panel. We were actually expecting her to come in. And
but I believe the man brought some kind of...
You know, he represented the woman, so we have to see the feminism. So we had them all brought together to encourage these young ladies, these young kids. I mean, although we had some boys from Presec and stuff, they needed some encouragement. These people started from the scratch and they got to where they are. So if you see them and then you look at where you are, you know, if I also push in a bit, I can get to wherever these people have got into. So it was basically just to push these kids so that they can get to wherever they want to go to.
And I also remember the Honorable Minister for Gender.
Yes, she was there. She was there.
So
I mean, it was a good one. Having a child running, this is a person we see on TV and we get to meet face to face with them.
So the mentoring sessions were also amazing.
It was very good.
Then Frank, we come to the ARIS, which is the African Research and Innovation Summit. That was held in 2017. Was it 2017? Yes. And then we had a recap as part of the activities of AAU Week. Can you share with us what happened?
So I was privileged to present the findings of that summit to the panel. So we had a panel member from India joining us. There was someone from industry, there was an educationalist. All of those people were there to really understand what ARIS was and why we were supposed to do that. So they saw the point of how research should be commercialized and how industry and academia should come together with the government institutions so that all of them can develop a plan that can make all of them work together to build the nation up. So it was a very wonderful presentation. After the presentation, they discussed the points that were raised from the presentation, and the audience also chipped in with a few good points, and were able to note all of that down. So very soon we'll be rolling out ARIS, the next edition of ARIS, and then we'll be able to see how.
I know one key thing that came up was a research bank idea. How did they take it up?
Yes. So the research bank was basically a vault, more or less, where governments can put in a seed fund, where there are issues arising from either industry or from government. They place their issues in there. Students or researchers are able to go there, see there's problems in there, see if they can work on it, they apply for it. If they get it, then they are able to begin the process of researching to solve that problem. Then there are incentives created in order to be able to help them to not only bring out the research findings, but also be able to implement it so that it can be beneficial, not just be in the bookshelf, which it always usually is. So it was a very wonderful one. They all seem to really agree with that point, and we are still on track to get that vote soon to be released for the public.
Amazing. We will be crossing over to the Secretary General shortly, where he's going to launch the 2018 edition, and after that we'll go into his message, look at the activities lined up for 2018 and who can participate in the 2018 edition and what are the opportunities that the 20 edition also brings. But before we switch to Secretary General, Madam, can you tell us, I know it is for all the universities in Africa, over 2,000 universities, how do they join the participation? Do we have some of the events being held in other countries, or have we ever held some of the events in other countries?
Yes, we actually issue a call or a press release to all universities in Africa, inviting them to recognize the African Universities Week And several universities have proceeded to hold events and celebrate the day. Universities in Cameroon, universities in Nigeria, universities in South Africa, such as Stellenbosch. I remember also universities in Zimbabwe, the University of Zimbabwe. So a number of our African universities actually recognize the day. And normally what they do, they hold seminars. And they bring in the industry, the government, and the community, and then they discuss based on the thematic area of that particular year.
Okay, so how do you come up with the themes? Is it the entire university? Is it the board of the AAU? Is it African Union? How do you come up with it?
We come up with the theme from the secretariat. Then we share the theme with the board. So it's approved by the AAU network, the associations network. And then every institution that celebrates the week must focus on that theme. Yes,
Thank you so much. Viewers, we are still discussing the African Universities Week and the ones that happened in 2014, 2015, 2016, and 2017. We will cross over to the Secretary General of the Association of African Universities, Professor Etienne Ehile, and he's going to give us a brief message and officially launch 2018 edition of African Universities Week. Stay tuned. This is AAU Talks.
Je suis professeur Etienne Ehile. Je suis le secrétaire général de l'Association des universités africaines. Mesdames et messieurs les vice-chanceliers, présidents, recteurs et directeurs généraux des universités et établissements d'enseignement supérieur africains, je vous apporte les salutations fraternelles de votre association, l'Association des universités africaines, à l'occasion de la semaine de l'université africaine. Est-il besoin de vous rappeler que la journée de l'université africaine a été instituée et a bénéficié d'un soutien international grâce au lien étroit entre l'organisation de l'unité africaine devenue aujourd'hui Union africaine et l'Association des universités africaines AUA. Et en 1994, et à l'occasion de l'anniversaire de l'AUA, l'Organisation de l'unité africaine a déclaré le 12 novembre de chaque année comme étant la journée de l'université africaine. Et depuis l'an 2000, les universités africaines organisent des événements pour commémorer la journée. Et en 2016, les célébrations sont passées d'une journée à une semaine. Et dans ce cadre-là, le conseil d'administration de l'AUA a approuvé l'adoption des célébrations de la semaine de l'université africaine à sa session de juin 2017. La semaine de l'université africaine vise premièrement à sensibiliser à l'importance de l'enseignement supérieur en Afrique, deuxièmement à promouvoir le dialogue sur la manière d'améliorer l'enseignement supérieur en Afrique et enfin de célébrer les réalisations de l'enseignement supérieur en Afrique. Aussi, l'Association des universités africaines vous invite-t-elle? L'Association des universités africaines invite toutes les institutions d'enseignement supérieur du continent à célébrer la semaine de l'université africaine 2018 qui se déroulera du 12 au 16 novembre 2018. Au cours des manifestations de 2018, un accent particulier sera mis sur les réalisations du secteur de l'enseignement supérieur en Afrique en vue de réfléchir aux progrès, aux défis et aussi aux opportunités rencontrées par cet important secteur. Les célébrations visent également à attirer un soutien accru à l'enseignement supérieur africain. Et le thème de cette année est l'Afrique que nous voulons, le rôle des jeunes. Et ils cherchent donc à mettre en évidence le rôle critique que les jeunes doivent jouer pour influencer les changements politiques, législatifs et sociaux et perturber le statu quo, assumer un rôle plus actif pour assurer que nous atteignions l'Afrique que nous voulons d'ici 2063. Et ce thème s'inspire parfaitement de la vision globale pour l'Afrique fondée sur les aspirations des pays africains énoncées dans l'agenda 2063. En tant que secrétaire général de l'Association des universités africaines, il me plaît de dire que je suis entièrement d'avis que mettre les jeunes au premier plan du programme de transformation de l'Afrique est la bonne chose à faire. L'avenir appartient aux jeunes. Il est donc nécessaire que les jeunes d'Afrique participent à la création de l'Afrique que nous voulons, une Afrique où chaque jeune réalise son potentiel. La semaine de l'université africaine représente en conséquence une des plateformes appropriées pour engager les jeunes dans de telles discussions critiques. Des séminaires thématiques, des débats, des expositions, des conversations sur les médias sociaux, des conférences, des webinaires et plusieurs événements intéressants seront organisés par les établissements d'enseignement supérieur et seront plus exaltants que jamais car les célébrations de 2018 promettent beaucoup. Au Ghana, où est basé le secrétariat de l'AUA, un riche bouquet d'événements sont prévus et comprennent entre autres un concours de rédaction entre toutes les universités membres de l'AUA sur le thème de la semaine de l'université africaine, un forum des vice-chanceliers sur la stratégie continentale de l'éducation pour l'Afrique, qu'on appelle forum VC-CISA, des discussions sur des questions d'actualité en studio sur AAU Télévision, des tournées dans certaines institutions du Ghana, une fois sur les arts, la culture et la technologie en Afrique. À cet effet, l'Association des universités africaines suggère que les directions des universités et établissements d'enseignement supérieur diffusent les informations concernant l'organisation d'événements dans leurs institutions respectives, au ministère chargé de l'éducation, au conseil des universités, au comité des vice-chanceliers, ainsi qu'à toutes les parties prenantes impliquées dans la gestion des établissements d'enseignement supérieur. Les institutions d'enseignement supérieur publiques et privées non encore membres de l'Association des universités africaines, les institutions de recherche, les médias et le grand public sont également invités à participer aux célébrations pour donner la visibilité nécessaire à l'événement et promouvoir les activités des établissements d'enseignement supérieur dans chaque pays du continent. Vous trouverez plus d'informations sur la semaine de l'université africaine disponible sur event.aau.org/AAU-week et sur Twitter @AAU la barre du 867. Un dossier spécial d'information a été préparé pour guider et soutenir les institutions dans la planification de leurs événements sur leur campus pour marquer cette semaine clé dans le calendrier de l'Association des universités africaines. Et cela est accessible via https://events.aau.org/AU-week/information-pack. Nous comptons vraiment sur tous et sur chacun pour que la semaine de l'université africaine 2018 connaisse un succès sans précédent. Et sur cette note d'espoir, je déclare officiellement lancée la semaine de l'université africaine 2018 et je vous remercie.
Welcome back, and you are still watching AAU Talks, where we are launching the African Universities Week 2018, and that was a short message from the Secretary General of the Association of African Universities, Professor Etienne Ehile. And let me go back to my panel. I think it was a wonderful message that Prof has shared. It's so inspiring and encouraging. And I personally love the theme for the 2018 African Universities Week. But let me come to Ms. Nodumo. I don't know whether to go. Let me come to yes, madam. Why the theme for this year's celebration? The Africa we want, the role of young people.
Thank you, Kwesi. The importance of this theme is because we are implementing Agenda 2063 as a continent, which is our blueprint or framework for how we can develop the continent. And it's important that the young people are a part of this implementation. We are trying to create awareness on the part of the young people to go through the Agenda 2063 document, to understand it, and to inform us what they think the roles of the young people would be. So we really want to engage with the young people in the implementation of Agenda 2063, and that's why this theme, so that we create awareness. Yeah.
So refreshing. Frank, I know you are equally excited about the theme.
Yes, it is very important for me that we chose this theme, because more often than not, we feel we are turning away from being an African. We keep on getting other things which are not indigenous. So we wanted a chance to put the power in the hands of the young ones, because more often than not, we are the ones going to implement this strategy. So yes, by 2063. So we need to know it. We need to see what we must do and how we can link our culture with this blueprint, as Madam Nodumo said, so that we can see how we drive it forward in every country, not just in one country or in one part. All Africa needs to improve and develop as a good.
Amazing.
Just
how, I don't know, are you excited about the theme?
Very.
Does it present any opportunity for you as a young
person?
Very,
very excited, because you know, the youth, we are the future. So if we do anything here in AAU and we don't include the youth, it means that we are leaving the whole world out. It means that later, whoever takes over, we won't get elderly people to take over. Definitely it will be the youth that will grow up and will handle it. And when they get there and they don't have any idea as to how to handle things, then what happens? It gets back to scratch. You know, we can't do anything about that. So I'm very, very excited about this one.
I don't know how old you'll be by 2063. I don't know where Madame will be by.
I won't be around.
So it's amazing that we give the opportunity to the young people on the continent to share their thought and also what they think of the continent by 2063. And so kudos and congratulations for the wonderful theme that you've chosen for 2018.
Thank you,
Chris.
We
know it will be wonderful.
Yes.
But then let's go into the programmatic details of the 2018 edition. When is it starting?
It's starting on we are launching it today.
Yes, so it's starting today.
Yeah, it's starting today. We will be creating a lot of visibility about it. We will tweet about it. We will recruit social media reporters. And then during the week itself, which is 12 to 16 November 2018, that's when we have a specific program for Ghana here. But there are other programs that African universities are putting in place at an institutional level. Yes, yeah.
And I understand there is an essay competition as part of the event. When is it starting? When is the closing date?
We are launching it today. The closing date is the 27th of September. We are calling on young people from the ages of 18 to 25 to submit essays. The essay must be 800 words to 1,000 words, discussing the theme of the 2018 African Universities Week, which is the Africa we want, the role of young people. So we would like young people to paint a picture on the Africa they want, and then zero down and talk about their roles in creating that Africa in line with the Agenda 2063. So they must download the Agenda 2063 document, familiarize themselves with it, and then submit these essays, which shouldn't be longer than 1,000 words.
I like your word. They should paint a picture. So it means they have the freedom to visualize, to imagine the Africa they want by 2063.
Yes, and they can submit in the 4 Association of African Universities languages, in French or in Portuguese or in Arabic or in English. Yeah, yes.
So French, English, Arabic, and Portuguese. All right, within the ages of 18
to 25. Yes. Yeah.
So if I will be 25 in January, I am still of 25 in September.
As long as you are not 26 years old, yeah, you can still enjoy your 25. If your birthday for 26 hasn't reached, then you can submit.
I wish I could join the essay competition.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. So after the essay competition, what happens next? Will it be reviewed by a team?
Yes, we have come up with some very respectable reviewers in the continent. There will be first level review, second level review, until we get to a point when we have selected the top 10 essays, and then we will agree which are the top 3. There will be amazing prizes to be won. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me ask, why the age bracket? Because we are talking about young people. When you look at all the document, it's from 15 to 35. That is the average. Is it because the average age for a university student is 18, by 25 the person is leaving the university? Is that why we have that caption?
I think we are trying to capture a certain group which ordinarily we think doesn't know about Agenda 2063.
That's good.
Because they are maybe still at school and they are concerning themselves with their studies, postponing to find out what's happening in the continent. So that's why we kept it in that group. Of course, we understand the youth are broader than 18 to 25, but that particular group, we've noted in most instances, they don't vote in elections, they don't participate in national issues. So yeah, it's like, no, my time will come. So we are trying to draw them out. Yes,
that's amazing.
Yes,
Thank you so much for that. Yes. Frank, will you add something?
And all this information, including the documents, which is the Agenda 2063, is on the website.
The website,
So they go to events.aau.org/AU Week. They'll be able to get access to all the week's events, how they can participate, how they can join, and all of that. All of that information is on the website.
Okay, so let's go straight into the day one. That is, technically, it should be the 12th of November. And that is the day that commemorates the Association of African Universities Day, or the day that AAU was established. So what are we looking at day one?
Yes, so day one is the official opening, as you said. So it's going to be a week-long event from the Monday to the Friday, which is the 16th of November. So on the first day, we are doing, we are having an opening ceremony where we are inviting dignitaries and people who are interested in education and all those stakeholders to come on board, have a discussion with us and see how we can bring our youth along with us. Also, we'll be having messages from some of foreign nationals who are unable, who might be unable to come, and they will also be able to share that with us. Then we have a forum planned, which is for the vice chancellors of the universities, and the theme is on the CESA, which is and the theme is the higher education in the 21st century and the role of the VCs. So more often than not, when we see higher education, we see the leadership, but what exactly do they need to do in order to move their institutions and universities to that point where we can all be satisfied with the accomplishments of the universities? So we'll have a dialogue with them from both public and private institutions to see the peculiar challenges they face, what they can learn from each other, and how they can all come together in order to make, to push each other, and then hopefully in very short time we'll be able to get the Africa we want from the VCs and their roles.
So that is that for day one. Is there any other other events that we...
Yes, there would be. As we mentioned, we are going to be working with institutions all around Africa. Okay. So any institution which wants to join the African Universities Week, we are ready to accept them. So they should just inform us through the links we've provided. When they do that, we'll be able to know what exactly is going on, and we'll be able to switch off to them. Okay. So hopefully we'll be having streams from other institutions so that we can switch over to their institution, see what is happening over there, talk to some correspondents over there, and see how the whole of Africa is celebrating African Universities Week.
That's amazing. So then we go to day 2, and day 2 is the 13th of November. Yes. What are we doing on the 13th?
Okay, so for the 13th, we will be right here in the studio. Okay. We'll be having a live discussion whereby some of the senior staff of AAU will be here. They will talk about the formation of the Association of African Universities. Okay. After that, we'll have a whole new set of the senior staff coming in to talk about the role of the role of higher education in achieving the Agenda 2063 and the CISA. After that one, then we'll have our cameras going all over to see what others are doing in their various universities. Okay. So we'll be receiving updates from universities who will be celebrating the African University Week with us. So that's basically what we'll be doing on the second day. Okay.
And I know AU now has regional offices. So yes. Are we going to select them based on the regions of Africa, East, West, South? Are we trying to make sure we get a representation?
Earlier on, Madam stated that we sent a call that anybody that wants to participate in it, but where we have the regional offices, it's a mandate. You have to celebrate it with us.
Okay, that's fantastic. I love the studio discussion sessions, which will bring more or throw more light on that as well. Then on a Wednesday, we are going straight to
Kumasi.
To Kumasi.
Yes. So we are going to the to Kumasi, who is in the Ashanti region of Ghana. So we'll be going there and we'll be getting some of the higher education institutions from the Southern Belt, also joining them, both tertiary institutions, polytechnics, etc. They would all come together at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and there we'll be having a wonderful discussion on the same theme, on the Africa we want and the role of young people. So we'll be having students who are in leadership positions at the institutions as well. We'll also be having their tutors, there's the lecturers. We'll also be having some of the leadership also on that panel to see what each and everyone needs to contribute and which aspects we are missing out in order for us to have a very wonderful discussion and see what exactly we can do about it.
Okay. So the discussion will be on the theme for this year?
Yes, it will be on the theme for this year as well.
Yes. Okay. That's amazing. Is there any other thing that would be spectacular about the day?
Yes, so that event will be streamed to the whole of Africa. Okay. So all institutions from across Africa can also log in, be able to see what is happening in real time, and be able to join the discussion on the platforms that will make available to them, so that we can also hear their views, see what they also think, and then they'll be able to interact with the panelists as well.
Amazing. Then the 15th, that is a Thursday. What is happening?
On the Thursday, we have something happening in the studio. Okay. There's a panel discussion on an integrated continent based on the ideals of Pan-Africanism and the vision of Africa's Renaissance. Okay. So we will get some panelists joining us here at the association. Then we will discuss this very interesting topic.
Amazing.
Besides that, we will also launch a campaign online for young people to take pictures while putting on their African wear or African regalia. So when they post the pictures, they then put a hashtag, I am African or proudly African. Okay. And then these pictures will be streamed live. Yeah. So we are really trying to revive the ideals of Pan-Africanism, African Renaissance, so that we are all proud of that we come from this great continent.
So we'll find a Nigerian eating eba, take a picture, and then
yes.
write something small on it. It's only, I believe it's not only about the fashion, but then our food, our culture, and everything.
Yeah,
as part of the event.
It's anything African. And we would like people to indicate their countries, names of their countries, but specifically to use those hashtags, so that we are able to aggregate and see the quantity and the diversity. Yeah,
Frank, I see you nodding your head. I know you're excited about that.
Yes, I am very excited because last year we tried to do that a bit, where we worked with the social media reporters to share wonderful places in their countries. Because more often than not, the cameras does not show us every part and the beautiful parts of Africa. So the social media reporters were tasked to do that, to share a part of their country that they are very happy about, or a very wonderful place that they want to share. And this time we're broadening it, not only location, yourself, how your day, your culture, some activity that happens in your institution or in your environment, whatever it is. We are opening it up not only for the social media reporters, but to everyone, because we are all African. So let us share, let us know the rich heritage we have, see what we can do about it, and who knows, maybe we'll be traveling there next time to go and see those wonderful places.
All right, so from Mauritania to Mozambique to Mauritius to Seychelles, everywhere on the continent, Somalia, Djibouti, I'm amazing. I think that would be good. But then the most important thing is that how are you going to harvest all the pictures? Definitely the hashtag must be there, right?
Yes. So we'll be giving out the hashtags, and they can also follow that on the site, because there's a page dedicated to each event to see what they need to do. So the hashtag is I am an African, proudly African, and the main AAU hashtag, which is African Universities Week, or AFUNIWK, which is a short for African Uni Week. So they can use this so that we can aggregate it, we can share it, and we can see all of them in a wonderful way. Even on the site, we would actually have a plugin that will be able to allow us to do that. So if you post, you would see it on the site, you see yourself on television, and who knows, maybe we'll give you a call and see how you are doing in that day.
That's wonderful. We'll go for a short break, and when we return, we'll be looking at day 5 activities, and then how to call in for participation for 2018 edition. You are watching. Welcome back from the break, and you are still watching AAU Talks, and today we are launching the African Universities Week 2018 edition. Earlier on, we were discussing the activities day by day and what you should expect from us this year. And we got to the day 5, which is I think day 4, which is the final day for the African Universities Week. And so let me go straight to you, Frank. On a Friday, which is the 16th of November, what should participants or the entire continent expect from it?
That's a very good part, because with the whole week, we're thinking about how to end it properly, to make Pan-Africanism stand out, and how we can put that in. So we split it up into 2 events on that day. So the morning event and the afternoon event. So the morning event is the African Arts, Culture and Technology Fair. So that is a platform where we are going to showcase or exhibit our Africanness, more or less. I'm coining my word. The Africanness that we have. So in Ghana, we have a lot of nationals from all around the world who are here. So we are inviting all of you to come around, show us what your culture has to offer. You get a stand, you get a place where you can put up all these things, whether it's food, whether it's attire, anything about
African,
your culture and African, you can do that. You can bring it in there. So we'll also be partnering with some of the ministries and some institutions which have been doing this for a while. So they would also be updated on the website, so we can all see how we can participate. So anyone who has any idea, whether you are in school, you design little things that you put around yourself or something like that, you can also ask for a place, and maybe you could be on the part.
But why ICT, why culture, why art?
Now
put together on a day.
That's very true, because more often than not, we talk a lot more of ICT and forget about the arts. But the two go hand in hand, you see, because there's an artistic manner in ICT. So we are also asking that those who have invented something, who have systems or softwares that tackle various problems, just come show it to other people. For all you know, it might be able to travel all around Africa, and you might be able to transmit your thing there as well. So it is very important that we bring all these sectors together, so that we can see how we can all bring something to the table, because there are things that are being done in, let's say, Southern Africa, which are very indigenous and are helping. But that same product could have worked in Ghana or in Nigeria or in Mozambique. But because we do not have access to that, we usually struggle. So we are asking all institutions all across Africa, whether they have these, when they have these things, they should also stream it or show it. We'll also be able to link with them on that day, so that we can also go to their country, see what they have to offer, and see if it is viable for the whole of Africa.
I'm quite interested in that part. Most importantly, if I have a game, or if I have maybe a concept, how, like our folklores and our stories in Africa, how can we use ICT to repackage them? Like, I know we've all watched the Black Panther, which was a mixture of our own culture and then with technology as well. Is that a concept you are trying to push across?
Yes, we are trying to push that across as well, because for example, I had an interview with Aram Tiria. He is the one of the forefathers in gaming in Africa. So they have launched this application where they tell folklores in form of comics on the application. So this was a very wonderful thing that I saw, and he currently has people who write in those cartoons from Tunisia, from Egypt, from South Africa, from Somalia, from all across Africa. And they take these folklores and they give them superpowers, more or less, and make it more attractive to the youth to see how we can also engage with these things while learning our history and what is important. Because with the movie, as you mentioned, they showed our culture in a very wonderful way, mixing it with technology and seeing how we can do that. So we are trying to bring the two together, so that even if you are developing something which is ICT related, you do not forget about our culture, so that you merge the two and bring it out as a wonderful product, which I think would be very beneficial for them.
Before you talk about the evening session, I want to know from Ms. Lodomo, because she's the director of ICT services, how exciting are you about this? I don't know why this particular one for the entire continent, the ICT, the culture, and also bringing together art as well.
I think it's important to see the world in a multidisciplinary aspect. So we need to change the lens with which we look at the world. So if we then think arts is a standalone, is independent from ICT, we will not see the opportunities to either improve the way that we share our artwork, or to improve the way that we sort of work together to enlarge the preservation maybe of our artwork. Can you imagine if, like Frank said, there's very good artwork here in Ghana. There are some very good artists here in Ghana, but they don't know each other or they cannot collaborate across the continent. It means they can't learn from each other.
Exactly.
But if they use ICT either to collaborate or to market their goods or to develop apps, applications that make it easier for people to sort of consume or use the products they are coming up with, then it's a lost opportunity. So that's why it's important that we should see ICT as a tool, not just for arts and music, but for anything that we do. Yeah, anything now we need to ask ourselves,
how can we use technology?
Can technology make it more efficient? Can technology make it more effective? How can technology improve it? So that we don't talk about technology for the sake of technology, but we talk about it in line with improvement, effectiveness, and, you know, moving as a continent. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. So we go to the evening session. What will be happening?
Yes. So in the evening session, we'll be having an African Students' Night, where it will be a little bit of a continuation of the morning event, as well as having live shows as well. So we would put together a fashion show so that those in their African regalia can actually show us how they can model well, so that we can see that as well. We would also have live performances of poetry, of arts and all these music and all these culture and things.
What about dance? So that we can bring our dancing.
Let me just add a little to what Frank just said. You know, you can't have a birthday party without entertainment. And this is the birthday of AAU.
Oh,
so there's going to be a live band. I mean, there's going to be a performance that will be taking place in the premises, and we're expecting a lot of people to come over to come and have fun.
We didn't add timings to most of the activities that we've said, but I believe they will be on the website.
Yes, they
will. Go to the website and then find it. Father, before I let you go, how do we get participants for 2018 edit? How do we call on people? You made mention that we already issued a call.
Yes.
But if someone is interested, how does a person come in?
I'm sure most people are watching us now, so we are actually just inviting each and every one of them to be part of this year's African University Week celebration. And from our side, what we'll be doing is we'll be sending individual invitations to most of the institutions to invite them to participate in this year's events. So when it's getting very nearer to the event, we call them and then follow up on it. Are you coming? This is what is happening. Are you coming? And you know, most of them are really interested.
So the excitement will be on social media as well. Let me go to the social media expert, Frank. What is the excitement on social media this time around?
Yes, so first of all, I would like to say a very big thank you to all the social media reporters we've worked with over the past 2 years. We've had over 500 people, individual people, all across the continent. Places I didn't even know we would get response from, but we had a very wonderful time. We had very wonderful dialogue, and we've been able to push the African Universities Week for others to see and also to be able to share. So this year we're doing the same thing. In about a week, we'll be launching the call also on the site itself. So the site is very vital. You need to keep the site in mind so that you keep going there. So the ad for the social media reporters will be going out next week, and it's anyone, not just university students or so.
Anybody.
We had professors who were social media reporters and all of that. Yes.
And they know how to use the hashtags.
Yes, they learned how to use the hashtag and everything. Yes. So it's a very fun way to interact with people outside your country. To see how you can bring what you can bring to the group. So we would have our tags as always, and this year we're actually doing a little bit of a cutoff so that we would be having anyone who is participating must have at least 500 followers on Twitter and Facebook.
What about Instagram?
On Instagram, that will also be fine.
LinkedIn.
All of those will be fine, and they will be able to register. And when the deadline is due, that is the end. As always, we always get people who come after the deadline and start
begging that they want to be in.
Begging that they want to be in. But
so quickly, let me cut you short, Frank. What are the hashtags for 2018?
Yeah. So this year's hashtag is AFUNIWK. That's African Universities Week.
Okay.
You can also use the full hashtag, which is African Universities Week.
Okay.
And with institutions, when they also organize an event and they are using it, they could use the AF Uni Week, and they could add a hyphen and put their institution name there, so that we can also aggregate that for countries and also for institutions as well.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you so much. Let me come to Ms. Nodomo. All these events are free?
Yes, in terms of attendance.
Attendance is free.
Yes,
Anyone who comes to the secretariat is free.
Yes.
What about the Kumasi one, the one in K University? Anybody who's coming there is also free?
Yes, as long as people can fund their travel to Kumasi.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, they are free. The participation is
I'm much
free.
more interested in a Friday event, because I'm going to buy new dancing shoes. It's free. If you are bringing in the artists, whoever comes in is free as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much, the technical team, for coming. I don't know whether you still have your final words, but I know you've shared everything you want to say. But let me give you the opportunity.
Maybe just to re-emphasize our call to African universities to join us and celebrate African Universities Week. They can choose a day between 12 November to 16, even if it's just one day, where they either do a seminar or they do exhibitions, etc. And the reason why we want them to join us is because it will also increase their visibility, and it's an opportunity for them to do outreach and also engage their stakeholders. So this is really a passionate call to invite the vice chancellors to lead this process. Yes.
Thank you so much for
coming,
Ms.
Thank you.
We are so much appreciative of your
Thank
time
you.
as well.
Thank you.
Frank, your final words?
For me, I would also reiterate the coming together for us to be able to have this event. So there are ideas on what you can do as an institution. Everything of that manner is on the website, including templates to help you to be able to just design things that we'll be able to use for the event. So we would also have a contact form where you can inform us that we would want to hold an event from this day to this day at what time, whatever it is, and then we'll be able to reach out to you in order to help us to be able to put you on our program as well.
So you are talking about partners,
yes,
sponsors,
the partners and the sponsors, even the institutions. We are even opening up to industry, because industry also employs people from the university. So we are opening it up to any institution across Africa to be also engaged with us. And the social media reporters will be talking shortly, so do your best to join us.
You have the opportunity to say your final words.
I would say I welcome all the new members on board to this wonderful institution. And this is the first time they're going to be celebrating the birthday with us. And we are saying they should all be part of it. And to my old members too, you know how we do it. And then the potential ones who are coming on board, I'm sure you also follow up, and I urge you to be part of this. Yes.
So happy 51 years
Thank
to
you.
the Association of African Universities.
Thank you. Thank you.
We wish you all the best. I don't want to say, I don't know what I can say, we wish ourselves all the
yes,
best. But
yes.
now the technical team also wish you all the best.
Thank
we
you.
are all supporting you to come up with a wonderful week for us.
Thank you.
An amazing celebration.
Thank
you for your time. Thank you. All right. Viewers, this has been AAU Talks, and we have been discussing the African Universities Week 2018 edition, which was launched by the Secretary General of the Association of African Universities. Don't forget to log on to our website, aau.org, and then event.aau.org/AU Week, and then you find all the activities that have been lined up for African Universities Week 2018. My name is Kwesi Sam, and I'm with the Research and Academic Directorate of the AAU. Thanks for watching.